Hi there. In this post, we are going to talk about how to create some symbols to be used as modular panels, and how to import and export the components from them and to be able to generate a bill of materials, okay, for modular panels. And the modular panels that we are talking about is something like this. What we are going to do is we are going to do a simpler one, but as you can see, you can insert in different type of modules into this sort of panels, and we want to be able to make a panel like this, some symbols, to be able to generate quickly a bill of materials from them. And so what we are going to do, first of all, we are going to create some symbols. All right. The first thing we're going to do is we are going to draw a frame, and this is supposed to be the leg, and we're going to fill it with black. And then we are going to draw a frame over here, and then we're going to click on the developer tab and say operations offset, and we're going to offset it just a little bit. Okay, the offset operation will create two more rectangles, one inside and one outside, and we're going to delete the outside one, which leaves us with just the two rectangles over here. And if we do an operation to combine them, it will give us just the frame. Okay, so this one together with the leg, we are going to group them together, and this will be our first symbol. And then we are going to make two more modules. This is supposed to be a module, and then we are going to have a smaller module which is half the size. Now we have three modules over here. One is the frame and two modules. Okay, so what we're going to do is to make them into symbols now. So select this guy, click on the Electra tab and create schematic symbol, and we're going to call this frame 1. Description is modular system frame. Okay, and the symbol name is going to be a frame. Symbol prompt, same thing. Symbol type, same thing. And we are going to add it into a new stencil. Okay, notice that the current component is the generic component. I'm just going to add it into our new stencil. I'm going to add these two, same thing. We are going to call this MOD1. This is supposed to be module 1, and then we are going to add it into the same stencil 2 over here, and the symbol name is supposed to be module 1, and the symbol prompt is module 1, and the symbol type we are going to just call it MOD, and we're going to say OK. We're going to add it in. Now if you can see a little bit, the reference is on top and the description is below. Pull it out, the reference is on top and the description is below. So we don't want that. We want the description to be inside the box, and we want the reference to be inside the box also. So this is what we want. Now after modifying the symbol, what we need to do, we need to save it back into the stencil by dragging and dropping over here. So there you go, we have a new symbol with the properly placed description and reference. So this is not needed anymore. We're going to delete this. Same thing happens to this guy, create schematic symbol. We're going to call this MOD2, supposed to be module 2, and we are going to name them prompt module 2, and the symbol type just MOD. And this guy now at the moment has a generic component. Leave it at that at the moment, and we click OK. It goes inside here. Notice that the reference and the description is also on top and below, and we want to modify that so that it fits inside the box like this. Okay, so we have a symbol, and we're going to drag it back into the stencil to save it, and this is no longer necessary, so we delete it. So now we have three symbols. All of them have generic components. Okay, what we're going to do is we're going to export their components, and we're going to modify their components by importing it back into Electra. So we're going to drop one into our drawing. We are going to export the material reference report with all fields selected, and as you can see over here, we have a component attached now. Now this is not the component we want, so what we're going to do is we're going to delete this. Previously I have prepared a number of components, and this is the component that we want. It's called frame 1 with the frame and then the legs, and with a quantity 4 for the legs. Okay, and also some dimensions for our frame. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to copy these two lines, copy it, we're going to paste it into our Excel file here, save this Excel file, let's say as this guy over here, and we're going to close it. And once we close it, we are going to import it back into the symbol. Now just to double check, if we click on manage component, now it's just a modular system frame with a generic component. So we are going to import our own component now. Import material reference, browse for the file, book 1, import, and no, and it has imported already. So to double check manage components, you can see that the component is no more generic, it's modular system frame, and it now has legs with 4 quantity. Now this is what we want. Okay, now we have been able to modify the symbol. Okay, this symbol is already modified, this symbol is not modified, what is in the stencil is not modified. So what we are going to do is we're going to save this symbol back into our stencil, and this is no longer necessary now. Okay, so we are going to do the same thing for the modules also, right? We're going to export the material reference report. Very quickly, it has a generic component, and this is not what we want. And previously I have prepared some components for it. We need to have some contactor, MCB, thermal overload, and mounting screw for this module. So we're going to select 4 of them, 4 rows of them, copy, and we are going to paste it here so that it has 4 components. Then we're going to save the file, and once saved, we are going to import it back into Electra. Browse, same file, import it back. Don't save, already imported. Let's double check, and now we have a contactor and some thermal overloads and some mounting screws. Okay, and then we need to save this back into the stencil, and this here, which is not which has the components not modified, we are going to delete this. Repeat the same process with this module. Export material reference. We're going to delete this generic component, and previously I have already prepared some push button, pilot lights, emergency push button, and a faceplate as our component, and we're going to copy that. I'm going to copy that, and we are going to paste it here. Faceplate, we're going to save the file, same file, close it, goes back to Electra, and we're going to import these components, choosing the same file, import, and then we have imported our module 2. To check, click on manage components, and we can see that we have push button and faceplate here now. Okay, so we need to drag it to save it here, and then this guy is now no longer necessary, so it is deleted. Now what happens is that we have modified the component information for these 3 symbols. Initially we have created them, and now we have modified their components. So now I want to build up my modular panel. So what happens is that I will drag out a frame, and I will say I will have this module over here, which is module 1, and I will have another module over here, which is now become module 2, and I will have another module here, which becomes a module 3, and I will have another module here, smaller module, which is now module 4, and I will have another module over here, which is called module 5, and I will have 2 more of them, module 6 and also module 7 over here, and on the lower part I'm going to have a module 1, a big one. Okay, now we have very quickly just drag and drop the symbols for our modular panel. Alright, now we have placed everything that we needed onto the drawing. Now we want to generate the bill of materials to see actually what is the materials involved in our panel here with all these modules over here. So we do an export, a bill of materials, and click OK, and we can see we have 4 contactors, we have 4 push emergency push button, we have 4 faceplate, we have 4 MCBs, we have 1 system frame, we have 4 legs, we have numerous mounting screws, and we have numerous pilot lights, push button, and thermal overload. So this is a really quick way to just simply drag and drop the symbols into your drawing, and to have Electra be able to generate a bill of materials for you to be used in your modular panel. So it's really fast. Once you make up your symbol, okay, and assign the proper components to it, then you're able to size your modular panels really easily. Without drawing a single circuit, you'll be able to generate your bill of materials. Just to summarize, first you need to make the symbols for your modular panel. After you make the symbols for your modular panel, you need to import them with the proper components. Well, once you have imported them into a proper components, you need to save them into a stencil. Now after you have saved them into a stencil, you can then drag and drop your modular panels into your drawing, just like that, without a single circuit being drawn, and to be able to generate a bill of materials from it. I sincerely hope that it has helped you to make your work easier and faster. Thanks for watching.